India has now taken a step that many in the West would never dare to even speak of publicly. In a move that has shocked some and inspired others, India has joined China in a firm and unapologetic campaign to crack down on what they call illegal places of worship, specifically targeting unauthorized Islamic structures. The message is clear and unmistakable. There will be no tolerance for parallel systems of governance, no tolerance for Sharia law, and no room for caliphate ambitions in a sovereign nation. Have a watch. Make your opinion count by liking this video and promoting it for more awareness. Also, share and subscribe to our channel for upcoming updates. Let's challenge the narrative together. This is not about hatred. This is about sovereignty. This is about enforcing the laws of the land, about deciding who calls the shots in a nation's future, the elected government or radical ideologues hiding behind the veil of religious freedom. In India, bulldozers are working around the clock, tearing down unauthorized mosques and illegal religious buildings that have been constructed without permits, against zoning laws, or with the explicit intent of creating parallel communities that operate outside the rule of law. Indian officials have referred to the unchecked spread of such structures and ideologies as a mental illness, a term that has stirred outrage among critics, but resonated deeply with supporters who feel their country is under siege from within. India's government has made it clear, foreigners or citizens influenced by foreign ideologies must not dictate the terms of life in a country that gave them a helping hand. You don't come into someone's home and start rearranging the furniture, tearing down the walls, and telling the host how to live. Yet that is exactly what has been happening in too many countries. And now, India has said enough. This aggressive move by India is being seen by many as a wake-up call to the West. Countries like the UK, the USA, France, Germany, and the rest of Europe are watching. And they should be. Because while they continue to walk on eggshells, promoting tolerance at all costs, even to the detriment of their own citizens, India is choosing to act. While India's bulldozers are tearing down illegal buildings, China has taken the crackdown to an entirely different level. For years, China has been openly hostile to Islam, going so far as to officially classify Islam as a mental illness. That label alone would spark riots in Western capitals, but in China, it was met with silence. Not just from within, but from the global Muslim community as well. Thousands of mosques across China have been demolished. Not quietly, not discreetly, as a matter of routine. Entire neighborhoods have been cleared out, minarets torn down, domes flattened. There are no protests in Beijing, no marches in Riyadh, no condemnation from the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. The silence is deafening. And it doesn't end with demolitions. China has reportedly placed over 1 million Muslims into what they call re-education camps, facilities designed to strip away religious beliefs and replace them with loyalty to the Communist Party. They call it unlearning and relearning, a polite term for forced ideological conditioning. And yet, the Muslim world stays quiet, perhaps because of China's economic power, or perhaps because they know China won't hesitate to go even further. There's a stark contrast between how Western nations are treated and how China and now India are approaching the issue. In Europe, if you question the rise of radical Islam, you're called an Islamophobe. If you express concern about no-go zones or the implementation of Sharia courts, you're labelled a racist. If you dare to suggest that illegal mosques should be shut down, your career, your reputation, and your freedom might be at risk. But in China and India, the approach is very different. There is no room for ideological appeasement, there is no tolerance for foreign concepts of governance, and there is certainly no apology for defending national identity. India's actions have stirred international debate. Are they going too far? Are they simply reclaiming their sovereignty? Are they responding to a threat that Europe has been too cowardly to face? For many citizens across the West watching from afar, India's boldness is not offensive, it's inspiring. Because people are tired of seeing their neighborhoods change beyond recognition, tired of hearing about attacks that could have been prevented, tired of being told they must accept everything in the name of tolerance while their own rights are eroded day by day. There are thousands of mosques in Europe, many of them legal, peaceful, and integrated into society. But there are also hundreds, if not thousands, of illegal or radicalized places of worship, where extremist ideologies are preached, where young men are turned against the very countries they live in, where Sharia law is not just taught but enforced. And the question must be asked, how many of these structures exist because governments were too afraid to act? India has shown us what to do. Enforce the law, protect the nation, set limits, make it clear that while every faith has a place, no faith has the right to override the constitution. It's not about persecuting religion, it's about protecting the country. Religion must never be used as a weapon to divide, to conquer, or to terrorize. And when it is, governments have a duty to respond, not with weakness, but with strength. China's actions may be extreme, even brutal, but they are effective in their own authoritarian way. India's approach, while still democratic, is no less determined, and both are sending a message that the West would do well to hear. Sovereignty matters, culture matters, borders matter. And yet, the silence from the global Muslim community on the destruction of mosques in China is one of the most curious aspects of this entire situation. Why is it that protests erupt over cartoons in France, but not over the erasure of Islam in Xinjiang? Why is there outrage over Western leaders defending free speech, but none over a regime that jails people for praying? The hypocrisy is clear. The truth is, Western nations are being held to a different standard. They're expected to bend, to compromise, to apologize. But China and India, they play by their own rules. And in doing so, they're shaping the future not just of their own countries, but of global discourse on religion and national identity. So what do you think? Is India doing the right thing by cracking down on illegal places of worship? Should other countries follow suit? Should the West take notes from the East on how to defend its identity? Or is this a dangerous path that risks further division? Whatever your answer, the conversation can no longer be avoided. The question is no longer whether the West will face the same challenges, it's when. And when that time comes, will they have the courage to act? Or will they continue to fall in the name of tolerance? Let us know what you think in the comments. If you believe this is a conversation the world needs to have, share this video, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the times are changing and only the brave will shape what comes next.